So the Championship season is about to start up again, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to predict how the table will look at the end of the season. The Championship is of course notorious for being the hardest league in the world to predict, but I'm going to give it a go. One thing I should say is I'm not going to take into account if any clubs are going to go into administration, because the way the Football League is allowing random businessmen to take control as owners of football clubs, despite the fact they have no interest in the club. There could be a scenario where any one of these teams could end up just like Wigan. So we're just going to predict the table before points are deducted, if there are any points deducted. So let's start at number 24, Rotherham. Promoted from League 1 last season, I don't think they've got a good enough squad to compete in this league, and I unfortunately think they will be going straight back down. In 23rd, I have put Wycombe Wanderers. As much as I love the whole Wycombe story and the feel-good factor of their playing style, with the beast that is Akinfenwa up front, I don't think they're going to stay up this year. I would love it if I'm proved wrong, but as it stands, I don't see anything else happening, and I've placed them in 23rd. In 22nd, we have Barnsley, who have become a bit of a yo-yo club in recent years, bouncing between Championship and League 1 football. They just survived by the skin of their teeth last year, only staying up because Wigan were deducted points, but this year I think they will be going back down. In 21st, I have QPR. They showed some promise last season, scoring goals pretty freely, but they have lost both of their strikers now, and their defensive record was poor last season, so I think they will struggle to survive, but I've put them 21st, just outside the relegation places. In 20th, I have Reading, a team that were pretty average last season, but had a poor run of form towards the end. I think they may get caught out by a lot of teams around them improving, but I picked them to survive in 20th. In 19th, I have Luton Town, a team that no one expected to survive last season, but somehow they pulled it off, and I think they'll go from strength to strength in this league and comfortably finish 19th once again. In 18th, we have Sheffield Wednesday, and I think they will struggle this year. They've lost a few key players, and as I mentioned before, a lot of the other teams that finished near the bottom last season have improved slightly. I think they will stay up, but they will be just clear of the relegation scrap. In 17th, we have Coventry. I think this Coventry team really will thrive in the Championship. I don't think they're going to be challenging for the playoffs just yet, but maybe in the future, but this season I reckon they'll comfortably stay up in the league in 17th place. In 16th, we have Huddersfield. They looked a bit shaky at times last season, but I think they will have more stability this season. I've only put them in 16th place though, as I feel that they will lose Karlan Grant at some point this season, whether it be in this window or in the January transfer window, and I feel they may struggle for goals after that, but I think they will stay up. In 15th, I have placed Birmingham. No real logic behind this selection. They were poor last season, especially defensively, and they have been in a relegation scrap the last few years, but I don't know, I think it's just a gut feeling. I think they might do slightly better this season. In 14th, I've placed Preston. Now this is a team that is usually pushing for a playoff position, but when I was placing all these teams into the positions I thought they would place, I couldn't quite find a reason to place them any higher than 14th this year. But I don't think they'll be caught up in a relegation scrap at all, and they will comfortably finish mid-table. In 13th, we have Middlesbrough, another team that struggled last year, but with Neil Warnock taking over as manager, they have someone who knows how to win the Championship, and I can see them improving this year, finishing comfortable mid-table. In 12th, we have Bristol City, another pretty good year, just outside the playoff places, but again, will probably struggle to keep up with the teams around them. In 11th, I have placed Watford. There's a lot of discontent at this football club. Obviously still in shock from Nigel Pearson's sacking late on in the season last year. I definitely don't think they'll be bouncing straight back up to the Premier League, although they do have the players to do it, but I can foresee 1 or 2 manager changes again this season, ultimately ending in a mid-table finish, maybe even a late playoff run, but I can't see them finishing much higher than that. 10th, we have Derby County, and I was wanting to place them higher because I do think they'll have a better season this year, but they're going to have to do a lot of recruitment defensively, losing both Bogle and Lowe to Sheffield United, so I think they may struggle again to find any real traction and grind out another mid-table finish. In 9th we have Cardiff City. It was playoff football for them last season. I think they'll be there or thereabouts again this season, but will just miss out. But I think all the positions from 4th place onwards will be very close this year. Now in 8th I have placed Brentford. It seems everyone that does a prediction video every year always writes Brentford off because they don't get promoted the previous year. They lose all their best players, but somehow their scouts manage to find another star and they replicate their form. But surely I don't think they'll be able to do it for yet another year. Watkins has already been confirmed as gone. It won't be long before they lose Ben Rama soon, if not now, then at the January transfer window. But I think they will still be pushing for a playoff position, but will just miss out to other teams. In 7th we have Stoke City. It was a poor year for them last year, but I think Michael O'Neill, who managed to get a good run out of them towards the end of the season, will push on again this season and challenge for a playoff place. I think they will just miss out right at the end though and finish 7th. In 6th we have Millwall. And I believe they will be a dark horse in the Championship this year. They've managed to keep hold of some key players and made some astute signings. And I think they will just scrape into the playoffs towards the end of the season. I don't think they'll go on to win the playoffs though, and probably won't even get past the first round. But they will have a strong season this year. In 5th we have Blackburn Rovers. And there's so many great young talents going through in this team. They showed signs of improvement last year, and I think they'll push on again this year, reaching the playoffs. And I'm going to be bold and say that this is the year that they go back up to the Premier League. I think they will win through the playoff system, and after a 10-year wait, they will be back in the top division. In 4th, I have Nottingham Forest. Many people are predicting them to bottle it again and miss out on the playoffs, but I think they will make the playoffs this year and do very well. But I don't think they will go on to win their first game against Blackburn as I've predicted. I do, however, think that they will probably get promoted within the next 2 or 3 years. In 3rd, I have Norwich City, a team that struggled in the Premier League, but they have a proven formula in the Championship. They've lost a few key players and are probably going to lose a few more, but I think Daniel Farke has a very strong system that he likes to play. It definitely works in the Championship. It may not be suitable for the Premier League, but it does work in this league. And I think he will get them to the playoffs. But as I said before, I don't think they will be the team that gets promoted. In 2nd, we have Bournemouth. And I know quite a few people are predicting them to have a similar story to Huddersfield in regards to their return to the Championship. But I think it's a weight off the shoulders of these Bournemouth players. They can have a fresh start and start to reinvent themselves under a new manager, and the likes of Dominic Solanke can push on in their career and start to prove themselves. In fact, I'm going to make another bold prediction. I reckon Dominic Solanke is going to finish in the top 5 scorers in the Championship this season. But then again, I'm sure we'll all be looking at these predictions at the end of the year and laughing at how stupid I am. Which means in 1st place, going up with Bournemouth and Blackburn, I have placed Swansea City. And what Steve Cooper has done with this team as a manager is he has transformed it into a team that is very strong defensively. They're a threat going forward, and I think they will push on from their playoff appearance last year and go on to win the league this year. But that is going to conclude my Championship predictions. Please let me know down in the comments below how much of an idiot I am, but make sure you remember that literally anything can happen in this league. Nothing is guaranteed. And then we'll take a look at these predictions at the end of the season and see how many I got right. But make sure to hit the like button, slap down where it says subscribe, and I'll see you next time.